Elvira was in any way responsible for Ruth's death.
Elvira, it's such a pretty name, isn't it? It has a definite lilt to it. Elvira, Elvira.
You haven't answered my question.
It came to me last night, Mr. Condamine. It came to me in a blinding flash. I had just finished my Ovaltine and turned out the light when I sat up in bed and cried, "Great Scott!" I cried, "I've got it!" I started putting two and two together at 3 in the morning with my brain fairly seething. I went to work on my crystal for a few hours, but it wasn't satisfactory, you know, cloudy.
I'd appreciate it if you keep any theories regarding my wife's death to yourself.
My one desire is to help you. I feel I have been dreadfully remiss in the whole affair, and not only remiss, but untidy.
Well, there's nothing whatever to be done.
But there is. I have found a formula. I copied it out of Edmondson's Witchcraft and its Byways.
What the hell are you talking about?
Pluck up your heart, Mr. Condamine. All is not lost.
Now, you listen here, Madam McCarthy.
You are still anxious to dematerialize your first wife, I suppose.
Of course, I'm positively furious with her, but...
But what?
But, well, other than my anger, which Elvira hated even when she was alive, my second wife, Ruth, hasn't left his side for a moment. You must understand she's been having a pretty bad time with it with one thing or another.
Your delicacy of feeling does you credit, but I might say, if you'll forgive my bluntness, that you're a damned fool, Mr. Condamine.
You're at liberty to think whatever you please.
Now, there's no need to get on your high horse, is there? I have found a formula that I think will be able to get rid of her without hurting her feelings in the least. It's extremely simple and requires nothing more than complete concentration from you and a minor trance from me. I may even be able to manage it without lying down.
Honestly, I would rather that you...
Charles!
What on earth is the matter?
What's she doing here?
Madam McCarthy has come to offer me her condolences.
They should have been a congratulations.
Don't say things like that, Elvira. It's in the worst possible taste. Madam McCarthy, allow me to introduce you to my first wife, Elvira.
How do you do?
What does she want, Charles? Send her away.
In what part of the room is she at the moment?
She's moving about rather rapidly. I'll tell you when she settles.
She's the one who got me here in the first place, isn't she?
Yes.
Well, tell her to get me away again as soon as possible. I can't stand this house another minute.
Really, Elvira? I'm surprised at you.
I don't care how surprised you are. I'm sick of the whole thing. I want to go home.
Don't be childish, Elvira.
I'm not being childish. I mean it.
Interesting. Very interesting. I smell ectoplasm strongly.
Disgusting thing to say.
Where is she now? Tell me where.
Here, close to me.
Are you happy, my dear?
Tell the silly old bitch to mind her own business.
Was the journey difficult? Are you weary?
She's dotty.
Oh, really, Elvira? I'm surprised. Your behaviour has shocked me. Just a moment, Madam McCarthy.
Wait. This is just wonderful, wonderful.
Tell her to go into the other room, Charles. I've got to talk to you.
Madam McCarthy.
Wait! I have nearly made contact. I can sense the vibrations.
Go on, Elvira. Don't be a sport. Give us some encouragement.
If you promise you'll get her into the other room.
All right.
Yes, again! Whoa! Oh, this is first rate. It really is first rate. Absolutely splendid.
I'm so glad you're pleased, Madam McCarthy.
Please get rid of her. Ruth will be in a minute.
Madam McCarthy, would you find it frightfully rude of me if I should ask you to go to the dining room a moment? My first wife wishes to speak to me alone.
Oh, must I? It's so lovely actually being in the room with her.
Only for a minute. I promise she'll be here when you come back.
Very well. Hand me my bag, will you? It's on the settee.
I'll get it.
Oh, you darling little darling.
How good is she, really?
I don't know.
Do you really think she could get me back again?
My dear child.
And don't call me your dear child. It's smug and supercilious.
Well, there's no need to be rude.
The whole thing's been a failure. A miserable, dreary failure. And oh, what high hopes I'd started out with.
Well, don't expect much sympathy from me. I'm perfectly aware that your highest hope was to murder me.
Don't put it like that. It sounds so beastly.
It is
you'd have welcomed a chance of being with me forever.
Honestly, Elvira, your behaviour shocked me immeasurably. I had no idea you could be so unscrupulous.
Charles!
Don't snivel.
They're only ghost tears. They're nothing really.
Well, it's your own fault.
That's right. Rub it in. Anyhow, it was only because I loved you. The silliest thing I ever did in my whole life was love you. You were always so unworthy of me. When I think of what might have happened if I'd have succeeded in getting you to the other side, it makes me shudder, it really does. It would have been nothing but bickering and squabbling forever and ever. I swear I'll be better off with Ruth. At least she'll find her own set and not get in my way.
Oh, I get in the way, do I?
Only because I was foolish enough to imagine you loved me, and because I sort of felt sorry for you.
Of all the brazen sophistry.
Call that old girl in again and set her to work. I won't tolerate this any longer.
Madam McCarthy, could you come back in here, please?
Is the darling still here?
Yes, she is.
Where? Tell me where.
Over by the gramophone, blowing her nose.
Oh, my dear, my dear.
Stop her fawning on me, Charles, or I shall break something.
Madam McCarthy, my wife and I have discussed things, and we have decided that she should go home as soon as possible.
Home?
Wherever she came from.
You don't think she'd like to stay here a few days while I get things a little more organised?
No, I want to go now.
We've talked it over, and we decided that she should go as soon as possible.
Oh, if you insist.
I most emphatically do insist.
Oh, Charles!
Shut up!
I can't guarantee anything, you know. I'll do my best, but it may not work.
Please do, Madam McCarthy. Strain every effort. You said something about a formula. What is it?
Oh, nothing more than a little verse, really. It fell into disuse sometime after the 17th century. I shall need some pepper and salt.
There's some pepper in the dining room. I'll get some.
Of course, we should really have some shepherd's wort and a frog or two, but I think I can manage without. You won't be frightened, dear, will you? It's absolutely painless.
Here you are.
Just put it on the table there. Yes, just sprinkle it there in the middle. A soupçon. There, yes.
This is going to be a flop. I can tell you here and now.
Be quiet, Elvira.
Now a few herbs, I think, from there. Yeah, it's good chat.
Merlin does this sort of thing all the time at parties and bores us all stiff with it.
Now then, the gramophone. Of course, in the old days, they'd have used a zither or reed pipes, but we'd better have the same record we had before.
I'll get it.
Oh, if only Mr. Emsworth of the Psychical Research Society could see this. He'd have a fit, he really would. Now, here am I. Right. You sit there, Mr. Condamine. Now, rest your hands on the table. But don't put your fingers in the pepper. Now, I shall turn the lights on myself. Oh, shucks, I nearly forgot. Right. One triangle there, one half circle there, and one little dot there.
This is a waste of time. She's a complete fake.
She's trying her best, Elvira.
I'm as eager for it to succeed as you are. Make no mistake about that. But I'll lay you 10 to 1 that it's a dead failure.
Now, if your wife would like to come and lay down on the sofa.
Go on, Elvira.
This is sheer nonsense. Don't blame me if I get the giggles.
Concentrate. Think of nothing.
Quite right, quite right. Now, hands by the sides, legs extended. Breathe steadily. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Is she comfortable?
Are you comfortable, Elvira?
No.
She's quite comfortable.
Good. Right. Let's see. I may have to go into a slight trance, but if I do, pay no attention. Now, first the gramophone. And away we go. Ghostly spectre, ghoul or fiend, nevermore be thou convened. Shepherd's wart and holy rite, banish thee into the night.
What a disagreeable little verse.
Is anybody there? Is anybody there? Rap once for yes, twice for no. Is anybody there? Good show. Is that you, Daphne? Well, Mrs. Condamine wants to return. Now then, Daphne, did you hear what I said? Good show. Can you help us? trying to break away, Mr. Condamine! Hold on to yourself!
Madam McCarthy, are you hurt, Madam McCarthy?
She's in one of her damn trances again, and I'm here as much as I ever was.
Are you hurt? What's happening?
Leave her alone. She's having a whale of a time.
Madam McCarthy.
If I ever do get back, I'll strangle that bloody little Daphne.
What happened?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
I know something happened. I felt it.
You fell over. That's all that happened.
Is she still here?
Yes, of course.
Something must have gone wrong.
Make her do it properly. I'm sick of being messed about like this.
Something definitely happened. I felt it in my trousers. It shivered through me.
Once and for all, Charles, what the hell does this mean? Something a little more decorative.
If that were really all you could say, Ruth, I'm sure it would be a great comfort to us all.
You can be as rude as you like, Elvira. I don't mind one bit. In fact, I'd be awfully surprised if you weren't.
Why?
Would you two stop bickering for 1 minute?
This is most definitely one of the most frustrating nights I have ever spent.
The reply to that is pretty obvious too.
I am sure I don't know what you mean.
Skip it.
Now, listen here, Elvira. If you and I have got to stay together in this house indefinitely, and that looks unpleasantly likely, we shall have to come to some sort of an arrangement.
What sort of an arrangement?
You're not staying in this house indefinitely.
With you, then. We shall have to be with you.
But why? Why don't you take up a cottage somewhere?
You called us back.
I have already told you, until I am black in the face, that I did not call you back.
Madam McCarthy said you did.
Madam McCarthy is a mothering old fool.
I could have told you that in the first place. I think you're behaving very shabbily, Charles.
I don't see what I've done.
We've all agreed that as Elvira and I are dead, it would be both right and proper for us to dematerialize again as soon as possible. That I admit. We have allowed ourselves to be subjected to the most humiliating hocus-pocus for hours and hours, without complaining.
Without complaining.
We've stood up, we've lain down, we have sat interminably while that tiresome old woman recited extremely unflattering verses at us. We've endured 5 seances, we've watched her fling herself in and out of trances until we're dizzy. And at the end of it all, we find ourselves exactly where we were at the beginning.
Well, it's not my fault.
Be that as it may, the least you can do is admit failure gracefully and make the best of it. Your manners are boorish to a degree.
I'm just as exhausted as you are. I'm the one doing all the damn table tapping, remember?
If she can't get us back, she can't. That is that. We shall have to think of something else.
She must get you back. Anything else is unthinkable.
There's gratitude for you.
Gratitude.
Yes, gratitude for all the years we've both devoted to you.
And what about all the years that I devoted to you?
Nonsense. We've waited on you hand and foot. Haven't we, Ruth? You're exceedingly selfish and always were.
Well, in that case, I fail to see why you're both so anxious to get back to me.
You called us back, and you've done nothing but try to get rid of us ever since we arrived.
Hasn't he, Elvira?
He certainly has.
And now, owing to your idiotic inefficiency, we find ourselves in the most mortifying position. We are neither fish, nor flesh, nor fowl, nor whatever it is.
Well, why don't you do something about it? Why don't you go back on your own?
We can't. You know perfectly well we can't.
Well, isn't there someone on the other side that can help?
I've only been there a few days. Ask Elvira.
I've already told you it's no good. If we got Mesmer, Merlin, and the Black Douglas in a row, there isn't a thing they could do to help us. The impetus has got to come from here. Perhaps darling Charles doesn't want us to go quite enough.
I certainly do.
Then you must be very weak-willed then, as I always suspected. There's no use arguing. Wake up, Madam McCarthy.
Oh, not another seance. Please, not another seance.
Please wake up, Madam McCarthy.
Shake her!
It might upset her.
I don't care if it kills her.
Please wake up, Madam McCarthy.
What time is it?
5:10.
What time did I go off?
Over an hour ago.
Oh, curious, very curious. I shall make a note of that in my diary. Are they still here?
Yes, they are.
How disappointing.
Have you any suggestions?
We mustn't give up hope. Chin up, never give in, that's my motto.
This schoolgirl's phraseology is driving me mad.
Now then,
Now then what?
would you say we have another seance and really put our shoulders to the wheel, make it a real rouser?
Not another seance. Please, not another seance.
I may even be able to materialise a trumpet if I tried hard enough. Better than nothing, you know. I feel as fit as a fiddle after my rest.
I don't care if she materializes a whole symphony orchestra. I implore you, do not let her have another seance.
Madam McCarthy, perhaps we should have another seance. After all, they haven't done much so far, have they?
Rome wasn't built in a day, you know.
I know it wasn't, but...
Well then, cheer up, away with the melancholy.
Madam McCarthy, before you go into some other trance, I really do think we should discuss the situation.
An excellent idea. And while we do, I shall have another of these delicious sandwiches. I'm as hungry as a hunter.
Would you like another beer?
No thanks, better not.
I think I'll make myself a small whiskey and soda.
Make it a double and enjoy yourself.
One day, I intend to give myself the pleasure of telling this Madame McCarthy exactly what I think of her.
She's doing her best.
Are the girls getting despondent?
I'm afraid so.
Never give in, we'll win through yet.
If we're not careful, she'll materialize a hockey team.
Now then, Mr. Condamine, the discussion. Fire away.
I've been speaking with my wives, and they are positively certain that I was the one that called them back.
Very natural.
And I'm equally certain that I did not.
Love is a strong psychic force, Mr. Condamine. It can work untold miracles. A true love can encompass the universe.
And I'm sure it can, but while my affections for both Elvira and Ruth are of the warmest, I cannot truthfully put it under the heading which you describe.
You may not know your own strength, Mr. Condamine.
I did not call them back, be it consciously or subconsciously.
But Mr. Condamine,
And that is my final word on the matter.
they could not have returned unless there was somebody, a psychic subject in this house, who wished for them.
Well, it wasn't me.
Perhaps it was Dr. Bradman. I never knew he cared.
Are you sure? Are you really sure?
Absolutely positive.
Great Scott, I think I've been barking up the wrong tree.
What are you talking about?
The Sudbury case.
I don't understand.
There's no reason why you should. It was before your day. I wonder. Oh, I wonder.
What was the Sudbury case?
It was the case that made me famous, Mr. Condamine. It was what you might describe in theatrical parlance as my first smash hit. I had letters from all over the world about it, you know, especially India.
What did you do?
I dematerialized old Lady Sudbury after she'd been firmly entrenched in the private chapel for over 17 years.
How? Can you remember how?
Chance, a fluke. I happened upon it by the merest coincidence.
What fluke? What did you do?
All in good time. Now then, let me see. Who was in the house at the time of our first seance?
Only the Bradmans, and me, and Ruth, and yourself.
To be sure, yes, but the Bradmans weren't here last night, though, were they?
No.
Quickly, my crystal.
Here.
Damn the thing, it gives me the pip, it's cloudy again. Oh, no, there we go. I can see it again. I'm beginning to understand.
I wish I was. What do you see again?
A bandage, a white bandage. Hold on to a white bandage.
I don't have a white bandage.
She's too good to know. She ought to be in the circus.
Be you in nook or cranny, answer me. Be you in still room or closet, answer me. Be you above the pen or beneath the stairs, above the eaves. Be you sleeping or waking, answer me! That ought to do it, or I'm a Dutchman.
Do what?
Hush. Wait.
Oh, don't let her throw any more of that garlic about. You made me sick last time.
Would you like me to turn the gramophone on or turn the lights off or anything?
No, it's very near, it's very near.
If it's a ghost, I shall scream. I hope it's nobody we know. I shall feel so